no one say anything incriminating. In 5, 4. I robbed a bank yesterday. 3. All right. Anything incriminating? Oh man, whoever has that.
Oh, the evidence.
Oh no. Using it against me. Oh no.
Got him.
That delay got you.
Make sure I do that. All right, we're gonna wait till actual 8 o'clock to do the what you call it, the video.
So are we going to sit here awkwardly quiet?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Well, I was gonna say, do you guys know the expression? Like, I don't know it fully, but it's like on a wing and a prayer. It's like that's how I feel like getting ready for tonight. I spent all of today just like playing video games, which is probably not the best thing for a 31-year-old to do. And then like an hour before,
fine to me.
Hold on.
That sounds perfectly fine to me.
Says who? I could be 95 and I spent all my day playing video games.
Well, I was judging myself. So then at like 7, I was like, oh shit, gotta take a shower, gotta make food, gotta feed the pets, gotta set up everything.
All I imagine when you say that, Tia, is like your dog just looking at like his dog watch, like you're cutting it close, like it's 7. I haven't eaten.
Oh no, she looks at me like that, like I'm coming.
Like she's like, yes. Like I know you got a show, but like I would like to eat tonight, maybe. Like
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would love if someone like a scientist could create a machine to where we could put it in our ears, like headphones, and we could hear what our pets are thinking. Because
I would love that.
I'm telling you, all the people that are like, look at my dog, he loves me, he loves it. I would love to hear the dog like, no, I don't. No.
You know what's so funny? Like, there's a lot of times that I see like TikToks where people have like say their cats, and they're like, "Oh my god, this cat loves me so much," and the cat's like literally growling at them, and I'm like, "Are you not seeing the behavior? Like that cat does not like you."
I'm like, that's your cat saying no means no.
Yes.
All right, everybody. We've been live for a few minutes now, but it is 8 o'clock. So welcome to an all new episode of Marvel Cinematic Review. We are the MCR of the MCU. And now that we have everybody here, we did it for you guys special last week where we showed you the intro. You guys wanted to see it, so we showed it. But I said we wouldn't play it before the show till we got our core group back. So we got you guys back, and without further ado, our brand new intro by our amazing artist Dakota. Here it is.
You can bring what you got, I'm going to the top. Bring what you got. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, at this point, Dakota just has to continuously elevate, or I'll yell at him.
Well, I was gonna say, like, Jawan, have you noticed like Dakota's just gotten better? Like from when I first started, he's just gotten so much better. So,
well, easy to you before he starts sending me invoices. But as I said, welcome to an all new Marvel Cinematic Review. I'm your host, Jawan, and as you see, I have the panel of the smartest minds when it comes to this here Marvel stuff. First up, I want to introduce from the Kinda Nerdy Girls and Kinda Nerdy Dudes, welcoming back the amazing tag team of KJ and Patches. What's going on?
Excited to be back. So sorry we missed last week.
Yeah, it felt really, really weird not being on.
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
It felt weird not having you on. It was
How
just
sweet.
like I went to pass it and I was just like, not here. Okay, next person up. Right, they're not here. But also welcoming back Dom. What's going on, Dom?
Man, I'm good. Yeah, I feel the same way. I had South by Southwest, like the final day was on Saturday, and I was like, I gotta get through these movies because I think I watched upwards of like 40 plus films between like full feature and shorts, and it was
wow.
Take in. I'm still working on some reviews and whatnot, along with the Invincible review I had done, and the Godzilla versus Kong one. So there's a lot going on, but I'm glad to be back.
Absolutely. All I heard was excuses. But anyway, glad to have you back, Dom. Definitely glad to have you back. You better be Team Kong. That's all I know. You better not be Team Godzilla out here.
That face, you just like,
Yeah, I'm just, Dom. Come on, Dom.
I'm a rap
all right.
man,
Dom, you sound like you going with Godzilla?
Look, man, I got a lizard in the living room, a snake in the living room.
No,
Oh, wow.
Unacceptable.
nice.
Dom will no longer be a part of this episode.
Look, we watched, me and my wife watched the King of the Monsters one earlier today, and our bearded dragon was up on the tank looking like, oh, that's my uncle.
Yeah.
am I gonna grow up to be like that?
I do always wonder that. I do always wonder, like, when cats like watch Lion King, are they like, I see you representing, I see you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dogs watch Air Bud, are they like, that's dope? Like, I always wonder that,
Air Bud.
Yeah, like, do dogs go, like, I do wonder, do dogs get offended by that? Like, they look at Balto and they go, yeah, that's good. And they look at Air Bud like, whoa, that's no one called me about this. Like, that's not how we are. My point being, Air Bud was offensive to me. But anyway, from Nerd with the Tech, Trayvon, how you doing, man?
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here. I enjoyed this episode more than last time, and I actually like Airbud, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, awkward.
I really felt like Trayvon was gonna be this guy, so I doubt he would say it, but I really felt like he was setting up for, and you can go F yourself with that opinion.
I stopped myself. I was like, no, I can't say anything too bad. So I was just saying, y'all know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and I hate John Walker.
I'm glad you went with that, because my cursor is on the, what is it called? Remove from.
Oh, yeah.
that-
Send them to the waiting room. That's what we do on the Kind of Nerdy Night In. When we don't like what somebody says, go to the waiting room.
Right to the waiting room.
Sorry, that's the power you have, Juwan.
That's messed up.
You know what?
And it's a great feeling. It is a great feeling. I'm telling you.
That's like, when people are like, man, I wonder how that person would be like if they had a lot of money. Like, I'd be the worst. I'd honestly. Just letting you know now. I
love the honesty.
But from Sports Bar Podcast, Prime, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, people? I almost didn't make it, man. I was running a little late. I was getting fitted for my new vibranium shield.
That's right. Yeah.
That's gonna be delayed, man. So they hooked the brother up, man. I got the adamantium model on the way as well. So, but I'm too bad to hurry up so I can get with you guys, man. But I'm here.
I love it. In Prime, I do personally blame you for the Knicks not making any moves at the trade deadline. But anyway,
hey, you know what I was thinking though? What you guys were talking about earlier. I wonder if any of you guys got like pet like lizards or iguanas or anything.
Dom does.
Yeah.
Dom does.
I mean, I'm saying, like, what if you had two of them, man, and like they go in to watch the movie, and they look at each other like, "Hey, dog, we made it,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I've been wondering that, man.
There's always dogs and cats movies, but lizards never get what they need.
Never. We don't ever give them the love, and if we do, their monsters are like the bad guy. It's never.
Right.
They inside a little aquarium, like dapping each other up and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I imagine they're just like, yo, never thought I'd see the day. Like, what's that Paul Rudd thing where he's opening the hot sauce and he's like, look at us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On
Hot Ones.
Yes, on Hot Ones. Paul Rudd is an American treasure. Like, people are like, man, I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm just sitting here like, that Paul Rudd.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Man never ages. But last but definitely not least, the great American goddess herself.
How is everyone today? Yeah. American Gods, I love that. Renew American Gods for season 4. I have to say I'm very happy to be here with you guys, and I have to give this preface right now. I love all the guys in the bottom row here, right? Trey, Dom, Prime, but I had messaged Juwan because he was bumming me out a little when we were talking about this episode, and I'm like,
You.
We'll never know.
The cliffhanger.
Oh, I want to
Mom
know.
is bumming me out.
You gotta repeat it, Tia.
We didn't hear what you
zapped
said. What he
out.
did.
You zapped out.
Oh
You
my
gotta
god, my freaking internet. I was just saying I was very excited to have the Kind of Nerdy Network on this because Joanne was bumming me out when we were talking about the second episode. I texted him like all exclamation points. Did you see it? So excited. Joanne's like, yeah, let me tell you all the reasons why like I wasn't that excited. I'm like, all right, you're really like a Debbie Downer right now.
I couldn't look. One thing I would never do to you guys is lie. And then Tia's like, all right, well, fine. He didn't like that. How'd you like the Suicide Squad trailer? I was just like,
I'm with you there.
Same.
And I literally texted her and I go, okay, that's enough of you today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
Did you text them like, are Carrie and Patches going to be there tonight?
I didn't text it today, but I literally said, I was like, I can't wait for the Kind of Nerdy Network to be there. So at least like they'll be happy.
I'll give you my my mobile, Tia. You can text me anytime.
Thank you.
Anytime, especially when Juwan's being a turd.
Quite often your phone will be buzzing off the hook. But no, it was just it was one of those things to where it's like I think I went back and rewatched all of WandaVision and I view it differently now that I know everything that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So now I go into these shows with no conspiracy theories, know what I expect, and it kind of does bring me down. It sucks all the excitement out of it. So now I'm just like, okay. All right,
exactly how I watch it as well.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, that was a cool kick. All right, cool. He can fly. That's awesome. You know, so it's like it kind of sucks it out for me.
Joelle always tells you to not, speculate. Just you know.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem with Joelle. Joelle is the kind of guy that's just like, what you give me is then what I'll respond to. Me,
I like that.
I imagine these shows make themselves for Jawan. So it needs to have what I want.
If you want the Jawan shows, you have to make them yourself, Jawan.
You know what? I've been trying to call Kevin. Like, hey, this month, let me just direct a couple, so I can't complain anymore.
Hey, Kevin, you're missing somebody that's kind of. I need someone else in this show. Can you please add this guy at the end of this show, please?
So
you missed out.
Just to recap, since we missed last week, there was no Jawan didn't bring up when he's expecting Mephisto to show up.
He brought up Mephisto.
What?
Y'all thought that was done? Y'all thought that was over? Y'all thought Mephisto died at WandaVision? I tell you what, if I don't see Mephisto by the time I have a kid, that is the kid's name. You're the one good thing in this world. Because you love me? No, because your name is Mephisto. But anyway.
Your announcement. Not I had a baby, but Mephisto finally arrived, guys.
Yeah, Mephisto finally arrived, and I can say
Mephisto was in Lil Nas X's video. How about that?
I don't consider that canon. So
wait, was he? Wait, are you like messing with me, or was he really?
There's a devil in the video. That's
he had a devil.
Yeah.
Because he kind of like trolls online sometimes. So I'm like, I bet you Lil Nas X like knows what the hell's going on with Marvel. I feel like he
Lil
watches
Nas X
the shows.
knows not to play with me like that. But before we get into it, and I do get into who my Mephisto of this series is, I do want to introduce also from Kinda Nerdy Dudes, Clay. What's going on, Clay?
How you doing? My apologies for being a little bit late. It's a beautiful evening in the Midwest, and I was enjoying some time with the neighbors out on the front porch and lost track of time. So
that's a terrible excuse.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We are 20 minutes away from you having the same weather, and we made it on time.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
Were your beers involved?
Yeah, there were.
Well, no need to apologize then. No need to
apologize. Yeah, that was good. All right.
I will say I'm here in New Jersey and the weather's horrible, so thank you for that. I know the state of New Jersey has to hear these shots I keep taking. Like, you can leave anytime, Jawan.
And they're like, don't tempt me. Don't
Yeah,
tempt me.
Yeah.
I'm like, keep it up, New Jersey.
Mephisto lives in Manhattan, so yeah.
I'm
I was
like,
gonna
bro,
say
right
one-
there. It's right there. All right.
Wait, 1 second, John. I always say that, like, well, not always. It was in recent times where I was like, the only really good thing about New Jersey is the fact that, like, they're legalizing marijuana soon. But then New York just announced that they're doing the same. So I was like, all right, I have no need to go to New Jersey now.
Only I can make the New Jersey jokes because I live here. No, I'm sorry. Just off the show. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's get into it. I want to start with the Kinda Nerdy Network. I want to go to you guys, and I want you guys to give me very briefly your thoughts on the first episode, and then walk us into your thoughts on this all new episode.
All right, Clay, you wanna pop in? Go ahead.
Sure. The first episode, I really enjoyed that they started off with the action and then they put the brakes on and focused on character, and I really enjoyed that
you.
they dug deep into who they are individually, right, and where they are right now, and I felt that continued into the second episode, and same reason. Like I find that I'm enjoying the quiet moments or the moments where there's not necessarily action happening, but the character development and the interaction between the two of them. And I know when we talked about what we were hoping for this show to be, right, that I feel like they were towing the line of having some serious racism discussions in episode 2, and which I thought was I thought was great, right? Like it's a good platform to have that. But they just got to that precipice, and then they kind of turned the temperature down pretty quickly. But overall, like I am enjoying the hell out of these episodes, so I can't wait for another week to go by and Friday morning to come back around, watch it the third installment.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because I was telling Tia that's probably out of the second episode the one thing I did not like.
Okay.
Was the issue of race because it felt so forced.
Did it?
Like when you look at, they left his house, they walked outside, they're speaking a little higher in voice, and then just randomly cops are there. It's just like, who called them? Like, where did they come? Like, it seems very forced.
John Walker called them.
I kind of like that.
I hate him.
You're supposed to hate him. You're supposed yeah. So, well, and you know what? I'll say that's kind of where I'm at with this show, both in the in the first and second episode. Just to kind of give you an idea of where I was at the first episode. I don't know why I didn't prepare myself for the fact that they were going to like pound into our heads that Captain America is gone, but I had to like deal with that and I didn't appreciate it. But I loved that, like I said, that the characters worked together. We got to know them a little bit better. I appreciate that it's very different. Like Sam's life is so different from what Bucky's life is, and the contrast there of being separate and not having a common goal and where they're at. But I was happy to see how they came back together and how it wasn't, Bucky's just like, what the hell, dude? Like he gave up the shield, you idiot. And it was like right into it. Like, that's it. There was no build up or anything. They're just, they're back together. But, that moment, how they kicked off the show and we're seeing John Walker, and I was like, oh no, you are not going to make me like him. I don't care. I don't care how fantastic and saintly he's been. There is no way you're going to make me like him. And then I wondered, in 4 more episodes, am I going to be in a space where I'm conflicted and I might like him? I don't know.
Space is so great.
Not by the end of this episode. No.
Yeah, right.
If he kind of goes from Cap
Yeah.
becoming U.S. agent.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And that's what I'm wondering is he going to do that? And if he is, they're going to have to move that pretty quickly, right? Like there's going to have to be that point.
I think because here's how you kind of know that it's going to get there. We've seen Sam with the shield in trailers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he gets the shield back. So that means Walker at some point has to drop the shield. Because Sam said, I'm not just going to show up, beat him up, and take the shield. Well, so obviously he does something that maybe pushes it a little too far. The government's kind of like, oh, we don't know who this guy is. It's like, I don't know.
What if they just kill him off? Like he's not that special. He doesn't have the serum or anything. He might
that we know of.
Thank you, Patrick just said it. Here's why I think there's more to him. Remember in the locker room where his buddy said, look at us. A few weeks ago, we were doing a mission out in Chile, and now look at where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
it's definitely something more.
Let me not say important because again, it's me doing like conspiracy theories. But last time we heard of super soldier serum was in South America with General Ross. He was administering it to what we now know to be Abomination in the Incredible Hulk movie. So it's like it's possible Ross is behind this. You guys missed it last week, but I said I think General Ross has been experimenting to create his own heroes that he can control. He can send on their own missions. I believe his first successful attempt after Abomination was Taskmaster. I think Taskmaster was his first success. And now you have these flag smashers who, seems like they got their hands in it. But I will say when you see Walker jump out of the helicopter and like kick someone, when he kicked her, remember Carly Morgenthau, who's the leader of the flag smashers, she's super strong. When he kicked her, she went flying to kind of let us know there's probably some strength in that guy, because a regular kick probably shouldn't have thrown her back that far.
Well, and I think that's kind of the case too, because he's sandbagging, right? That's what I think he's doing. I think he's sandbagging. And because when they showed that spot, when they were showing like his physical aptitude and all that stuff, when they were showing him whipping the shield, I was like, no normal person can whip that shield like that without having some extra juice, right?
He tested off the charts. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Exactly. So yeah, I think he's sandbagging. It's hard for me to take him serious anyways, because I just see Kurt Russell like and
right,
but almost like a not as manly Kurt Russell. Like he doesn't have that gruff he doesn't have that gruff handsomeness, like that badass look that Kurt Russell has. He just he's like Kurt Russell light, and I can't. It's hard for me to take him serious.
That's so sad.
I will say he's like the before.
Wyatt Russell's gonna be like the freaking people, man.
I don't know.
He's like the before you eat the Snickers, like you're not used when you're hungry.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
He turns into like actual Kurt Russell, and
right.
That's better. That's much better. That's much better. But no, I mean, I like that because that's what I thought of Dennis Quaid's son watching The Boys. I was just kind of like, you look like you want to look like your dad, but you're just not there yet. Like you haven't earned it yet. But no, I mean, there is something, and also keep in mind the test that he said he took, and then when they were in the truck and Sam and Bucky were asking him questions, and he's like, have you ever like jumped on a live grenade before? And he's like, yeah, I actually have. I did it with my helmet. It sounds like they're trying to walk him through every major thing Cap did. And the last step of everything Cap did was what? The super soldier serum.
Right.
Before you got your shield, he had to go. Now, one thing this Cap is severely missing is the muscles. This Cap can't grab a helicopter and pull it with one hand.
When they showed him, when they showed him in the t-shirt whipping the, freaking shield, that to me was the most jarring thing because you didn't really see his face; you just see the blonde hair, kind of like Steve, right? So at first your brain is like, "Oh, that's a Steve moment," but then you're like,
"Oh yeah." They totally did that because even the t-shirt and everything was like it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't,
Although I don't know if that T-shirt, like, is that just standard for the military, like a gray T-shirt or something like that? Anyway, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, I just imagine Chris Evans sitting at home, like when he heard the casting, he's like, oh my God, they're gonna get this guy like really buff. I'm gonna have some competition. Then he sees like the trailer and he's just like, ha!
He's like, that is not America's ass.
Like, not at all.
Have you seen that meme? Have you seen that meme where they show John Walker's ass and it's like, that's not America's ass? That's so funny.
It's not at all.
I saw one about what you order online versus what it looks like.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
yeah, he does look like one of those rip-off gyms to where it's like, all right, what kind of body do you want to try?
Yeah, he's the GoBots to the Transformers. Yeah,
like I want the Chris Evans, and then like 8 months later, you look like, like you're just like, what happened? Where did we go wrong? And he's just like, that's unattainable. You can't get that. Like, I don't have it.
The one positive thing I will say going away from that is, in a way, I kind of dig the uniform. I think the uniform is pretty cool with the horizontal stripes, and then the emblem up on the what is that? Right, left breast or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that have it having the A with the star? I think I mean, like, that uniform, that's sharp. I mean it's got cool lines and stuff like that. That was really, like, as far as Snickers, that was the best part about him.
I will say that's his suit is a nod to the U.S. agent. That's what the U.S. agent suit looks like. It's just darker in every aspect. It's just darker. But they went more U.S. agent look to begin. So I don't know what it'll look like later on.
Okay.
But that suit is very much U.S. agent suit for sure.
Gotcha.
Read a few of the comments we have here. Oh, little baby Mephisto. That might be the comment of the night.
Was a good baby Mephisto.
There's your next T-shirt right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm telling you right now, you thought you loved baby Grogu. Wait till you see. I'm coming for you, Grogu. But really quickly, I did want to get this out as to what Tia was saying as far as when she contacted me. Before I pass it up, part of what I did not like in this second episode is I'm not really buying the interactions between Sam and Bucky. It seems very forced. The humor seems forced. I mean, even when Bucky arrives and it's like, why would you give up the shield? How quickly they went from angry to, oh, it's the three major groups. And it's like, that's not how conversation. I've never seen a conversation go from so hot to cold so fast. Like, the biggest thing, and I was telling my dad, and my dad actually texted me, he's like, make sure you tell them how you feel about them. I'm like, I will. But the biggest thing is this show is showing me that what I loved about those two together was because it was in short stints. The I hate you after fighting Spider-Man. The moment when they were looking at Steve kissing Agent 13.
Yeah.
Her name is Sharon
Carter.
Oh,
13.
And if we don't get her soon, I'm gonna get mad.
You put some respect on Emily Van Camp.
I did. I called her
Yeah.
13. I mean, I call him Iron Man. I don't always call him Stark. I call him Thor. I'm calling him Thor Odinson.
Oh, you should.
You should.
I gotta start doing that now. But I don't know. To me, what this really drove home was how important Chris Evans is to that dynamic of those two. And it's kind of just like it's like when you hang out with friends, like you hang out usually 4 of you, and it's amazing. And then that one fun one like can't make it that one night, and you're just staring at that third friend like, you are the worst. Like, you can only come out when the fourth friend is around. You cannot come around. So it's that's just not selling me. So it's like they were trying to be very funny, very humorous, and it just wasn't hitting me. I was telling Tia, I never thought I've said this ever in the history of watching anything superhero, but my favorite characters are the Flag Smashers. Now we're getting Zemo, and when we get to see more about the Power Broker. It is not the two main characters. I'm watching that, like I watched it 3 times, and each time I just angrier and angrier.
Let's be real. The Falcon was gonna never be on your list anyway. So.
Right. Thank you, Prime. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, but to be fair, no, not even to be fair. No, he never was. No. But I gave Bucky a shot. I gave Bucky a shot for sure.
You don't like Bucky? You don't like what you're seeing of Bucky?
No. You know what? I'm glad you asked me that like that. I don't like what I'm seeing from Bucky with Sam. If it was just Bucky, I think I'd enjoy it a whole lot more. I just don't like how they play off of each other. I really don't. I think they both need Cap. And it's so funny because you think about like, oh, of course Falcon and Bucky need Cap. And it's like, no. I mean, I think Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan need Chris Evans, not the character of Cap, the actual actor himself. So that was just a really tough pill for me to swallow watching this episode. But again, KJ, Patches, you guys weren't on here, and Dom, you guys weren't on here last week. Carly Morgenthau, if you guys aren't familiar, who's the leader of the Flag Smasher, in the comics, Cap's old villain was Carl Morgenthau. So we were saying how it's possible that this could either be a gender bend or this could be a legacy she's following from her dad, who might be the original Flag Smasher. And I was saying how Power Broker to me is important to the show because in the comics, Torres, who we saw working with Sam in the first episode, the Power Broker experimented on him and gave him actual bird wings. And he actually took over for Falcon when Falcon became Captain America.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, I don't think they're going to do that, but it's just really cool that the elements are there.
I like Torres a lot. I was a little bummed he wasn't in this second episode a little bit more.
I was going to say, because he was in it, right? Like,
for
like a few seconds,
yeah. When Sam got to the military base, and that was it.
I said this, Tia, Prime, Trevor, I don't know if you guys remember this when I said it last week, that I think the government was setting up Sam with that mission.
Yeah.
Now, when he mentions that every time he lets them work on Red Wing, something's wrong. Well, we now know from what he's like, yeah, we found you from your Red Wing. And he's like, what? It's like, yeah, we've been just stalking,
They low-jacked him,
He knew it was government property, so, I mean.
Yeah, but I think he was kind of the idea of like, I'm working with you. Why are you spying on me? Like,
I'm confused on Sam's finances. Like, how does he have all this stuff, or he's being sent on missions and he's broke? Because like, I wouldn't go on a mission if they weren't paying me. Like, what is he?
I don't think he's broke. I think he didn't have the money to do what his sister needed. But he has some income, and all of his tech was from when Stark Industries was helping with it, and that those wings are government issued.
Is Red Wing done then? Like, there's no money to fund a new one now that it's broken?
I don't know if Sam can maybe put together some parts to maybe remake.
He's gonna get a real bird like in the comic book.
Oh, you're right. So you picture like he's telling the bird, "Hey, get them off me," and the bird's like, "No, no, not at all."
But still, he's a freaking Avenger, and he's going on these missions. He needs a raise. He did not negotiate well.
I did bring up last week that in the comics, the Avengers actually were government funded and they got paid up to 6 figures. Comics. But in the MCU, it's kind of just like, nope, nothing. Nope, not at all. Not a dime. Dom, I'm going to pass it over to you. Your thoughts a little bit on what you liked from the first episode and then what you liked in this new episode.
I'm kind of with everybody else. I like the way the intro right away just kind of grabs your attention because that's what we expect. We expect to see some action. We got it right off the bat. I'm kind of opposite of you. I like the interaction with Sam and Bucky because I lived on a military base for 4 years when I was younger, and that's what those dudes are. Like the ones who are like really lifers, they're super serious all the time for no reason. You're like, we were just talking about cartoons, and I'm saying you're like, yeah, I just blew up a guy. You're like, what? I don't know. And of course, Bucky's so old and he can't relate to Sam's black culture of today. You know what I mean? Like he was born when there was super racist, and now he's supposed to get along with this black guy that like he's forced to be friends with. You know what I mean? So
Wait,
I
you
feel
said
like,
super racist like that was a superpower. Like
I'm the super racist.
He got to hear him, and he's now super racist. It's like he's just jacked and really offensive.
but no, I'm a big fan of and it sucks that Marvel has always been really good with their villains, because you can kind of empathize with what they're trying to do, right? You kind of understood what Thanos is trying to do. You know what I mean? There's this big problem, and people are like taking advantage of things, and I gotta kind of fix it. And the Flag Smashers are like, we want to be all over the world with no borders. I feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't like. Of course, you don't agree with how they're going about things, but you kind of definitely understand it. I mean, I'm a big V for Vendetta fan, and that's what it reminds me of. You know, they all have the masks, so they're all like one. You don't know who's the leader, because you know Sam thinks it was the big guy, and little they know it's this little girl. And I do think it could be the legacy thing, like you were talking about, because she's clearly mixed. She's like, you know, red haired, freckles, so it could be. I think the Carl was like Swedish or half Swedish or something like that.
Yeah.
So there could be that kind of notion. But I do feel like it was kind of forced with the cop showed up, and I was like, I don't know, man. It's very weird. And I mean, I definitely get them trying to, if they had to rush it, and like we need to put these things in there. Like, look, they asked the white man, is he bothering you? And it's like, yo, he's an Avenger. Oh, you're somebody. Okay, cool. You're okay. You're fine. I'm not racist, but I just thought.
To me, Dom, the biggest reason why I thought it was forced was when you look at it, that was an all black neighborhood, right?
Yeah, that's what I said too.
Yes.
No way they're calling the cops for no reason.
Right.
Like, for what? For what?
Right.
So
Because Bucky walked in and out of that house.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just one of those things where it was just like to me, like I said, I didn't want you to shy away from race, but I didn't want you to force it. Like, race is something that's just natural. Like, all you had to do was maybe Bucky and Sam started to get into like a physical altercation, and then someone, you know, maybe called the cops, and then they're coming to break it up. And in that, they're like, did you throw the first? Like, you know, something just a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? But to just black man bothering you, where did that even come from? Like, what? Like, to me,
yes. And then there were cop cars everywhere, like immediately.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, come on, guys, really? And I did want to speak to a lot of Twitter thought. OG Cap is what I call him. When he said your people didn't take too kindly to me, a lot of people thought he meant white people. He didn't. He literally
Hydra.
Yeah, but Bucky cleared that up like right away, because remember Sam was like, "Oh, don't take it seriously."
Well,
Bucky's like, "No, Hydra."
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, people missed that to you. They were just like,
oh wow.
Well, people have selective hearing, so
they really do.
Yeah, they do.
I'm sorry, Tia. What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
By the way, Dom, you got a huge thumbs up from my dad. We spoke earlier today, and he was like, when are you guys gonna like mention V for Vendetta on like one of your shows? Like,
nice.
He just gave you the thumbs up for the V for Vendetta.
We have one of those masks like in our apartment as well.
I have two.
Yeah.
I have a tattoo on my leg, and I have like an anonymous flag in my closet.
So do we. But we're always like worried that if like we keep it in a video or something, someone's gonna be like, someone get the 411 on that person's address.
Yeah, they would definitely link that to some craziness for sure. Those anonymous people didn't help when they came out doing videos with the mask. It was just like, now I can never wear it. Like how would you do that? But I will say, as far as this episode, to me, it was just one of those things to where I thought the pacing was off a little bit also. I thought there were just certain elements of it that were trying to hurry up and progress it, you know? And we have in the comments here that I think it was Michelle. She was saying she liked the staring contest. I enjoyed it from the trailer, but watching it in real time with them scooting up as close as they did, I was just like, oh, you're sucking all the fun out of
I enjoyed that whole thing.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh yeah,
I did too. When I realized how closely their knees were locked together, I'm like, I want to see the outtakes from this.
You can actually see, if you look closely at Sebastian Stan's face and only his face, you can see that they had to do that numerous times because he's like smirking a little bit. So they were there was probably one take where he kneed him by accident. And it was just like, all right, let's do it over again. Like, he's just like, this is our 9th take. Like, that's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
But Tia, you're getting some love. Bonnie says she loves your sleepy dog in the background.
It is awesome.
What's
Like,
she's like my shadow. Yesterday I took her to the vet and she was like looking at me like, why are we going here? Because due to COVID, my vet like isn't allowing us to physically go in. They come to like our car and take the dog and bring them into the freaking thing. And she's just like looking like, why is the strange woman taking me?
That's adorable. All right, so I'm gonna get off my Debbie Downerness. I'm gonna pass it off to wait, Dom, before I pass it off for you, this is your time, man. You got any Easter eggs before I point them out? You got any Easter eggs you want to point out?
No, I mean, I think the only thing was like I was gonna say the same thing you said. I didn't know if people knew that like there was a Carl and then this is the Carly. I don't know if I had anything else in particular besides like the Power Broker. I don't know if they're gonna make that a group like they did the Flag Smashers, or they're gonna make it like one person. That's
one person, yeah.
It could be a company, but one person behind that specific company.
Right, and I think the one thing that like I feel like it got kind of overshadowed by the pacing was the Wakanda joke, which I thought was really funny when he's like, "Oh, you're a White Panther now." He's like, "Oh, it's actually White Wolf," and he's like, "What?"
Wait a minute, they gave you a name? Yeah, he was a little jealous. He was like, "They named you?" Another little Easter egg is the song they were playing during the new Cap's inauguration.
Yeah, Star Spangled Man.
Yes, it's a modern take on the actual song that
I thought was super cool. I loved how they did the marching band sort of remix of that song.
I was kind of
really
like,
cool.
Man, this sounds way better.
Right.
It's the remix.
Right.
Yeah, you know how we love remixes, so we came up there and we was like, we gotta flavor this. Like,
the flow rider gonna come out during the middle of the song.
Oh, you already know. Another little Easter egg just to Dom, KJ, Patches, and Clay. I brought this up last week. The shield that Cap gave Sam is a completely new shield. I brought up the fact that he might have went back and had it made or altered for specifically Sam. If you look at the design of the shield, like you look, let me see. No, it's not on that. But the star of the shield is different. It looks like it has functions.
Yes.
Yes.
And I also brought up that it's possible, because you can retcon it now that they have the rights to the X-Men characters, that shield could be pro adamantium, not uranium. So that's very possible, because I tell you what, if that shield was adamantium, no way Thanos is breaking it that easy.
Hey, and one more thing. My wife came up with a nickname for this new Cap. She calls him Captain America instead of Captain America, because he's alive.
I know he has to coin that now. Takes steam of its own. But let me see if I had anything else from last week. I don't think I did. Flag Smashers from the comics. Their motivations are pretty much identical to the comics. They want a world without borders, essentially, to where it's like, everyone gets the same thing. There's no hierarchy. They take the Killmonger route. They'll kill to achieve it, and that's where the difference comes.
Is this gonna tie in with Black Widow at all? Since Taskmaster and in the comics, he trained U.S. agent at one point. Are they gonna tie in somehow?
I keep trying to say Ross is the glue that could bring Black Widow and this show together. And that is, I know I said last week Arnim Zola was my Mephisto of this show, but it's slightly becoming General Ross. He is now my Mephisto of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If I don't see him, I am rioting. But I can safely say Ross's name does show up at the end of this episode in the you guys know when they do the newspaper clippings for their credits?
Yes.
His name with a saying comes up.
Okay.
Obviously, he's in the brain of this show, so we'll see. We'll definitely see.
So for right now, what you're saying is children are safe from getting punched by you.
When I tell you, I went door to door in my neighborhood after that finale of WandaVision. Where's the kid?
I just need one kid to punch.
I just need one.
I feel like you wouldn't be here if you actually did that.
They could be terrified. Like, man, what if he comes back and punches us? Like,
it's better give him the kid.
But yeah, so that's I'm riding really hard on that General Ross being the glue, because I mean I remember even when I saw the Black Widow trailer, him being in that trailer, I remember going, why is he like, what does he have anything to do with this story? So again, could be the introduction to the Super Soldier project of him creating his own little Avengers group. I love Carl Lumbly from Alias as Isaiah. Bonnie, he held that role, and I loved that's the one race thing that they did beautifully, bringing in the fact that there was a Cap before the Cap that we know.
Black Cap.
Essentially, they were just like, we're gonna try it. Anyone that knows, I'm not gonna go into it, but knows about the Tuskegee experiments and all that. They experiment on Black people first, and it's just like, all right, 90 died, that one survived, great. Now we can try it on who we want to actually give the title to. So that's essentially what he was alluding to, the idea that they kept him true. Anyone that knows from the comics, his grandson or nephew, I don't remember which one he was supposed to be, that might be the Patriot going forward.
Young Avengers coming.
Avengers, he could be the Patriot for the Young Avengers. In the comics, anyone that knows him knows he took pills to get strong. He wasn't naturally born with that inside of him. A lot of people kind of brought that up to the idea of like how kind of upset and bothered he looked by seeing how strong his grandfather is. Like the idea of like, damn, I have none of that. My grandpa got all the juice. So that's just something to keep an eye on.
I always screw that up too. Like there's him and then there's Josiah X.
Yes.
What was the difference between the two of them again?
I think Josiah had the powers.
Okay.
I think he had the powers. I think that was the difference.
I just couldn't remember the relation to him and how that all worked out.
Elijah was juice.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. But Tia, I want to pass it off to you. I know you enjoyed the second episode.
I did.
But walk me through your thoughts on this episode too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Bucky and Sam's interactions. I like that Bucky initially asked Sam why he gave the shield away. What I particularly liked about that, and everyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think at any point he made it about himself. He never said, if I had the shield, I wouldn't have given it away. It was like, he wasn't trying to say it as like, oh, you're undeserving, it should have been me. It's like, Steve gave that to you. Why did you give that away? So I did enjoy that. Yes, it may have been a little over-exaggerated. Their little tiffs with each other. I kind of like that. I feel like those are the sort of situations that they always try and put like a man woman in, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, look, they have therapy and their knees are touching, or they roll down a hill and, Jesus, we saw it in Avengers Age of Ultron, Natasha landed on freaking Bruce, so I kind of like the almost like turning it on its head and just having it as Sam and Bucky, because the internet already teases that they're like, husbands and everything. And I just kind of thought it was funny. It's like, maybe they were like playing on that. I thought it was hilarious. I loved this sounds bad because I like Red Wing, even though he's just a little robot bird.
Mhm.
But I liked him getting destroyed just because it's like Bucky, and it's like, you want to do that so badly, and it's like just for that creation of that line. And I have so many other things to do, but I wanted to go really quickly. My favorite moment of this entire episode was seeing Grumpy Bucky and Grumpy Sam in the car with John Walker and the other guy, which I can't remember his real name. But the reason why I enjoy that so much is as soon as he's like, my name's Battlestar, and Bucky's like, Battlestar, stop the freaking car. I'd rather walk. And to me, I thought that was like he was like, that's your name's Battlestar. Did you give yourself that name? To me, that was just hilarious. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked their banter. I actually like Bucky a lot in this. Not that I didn't like Bucky before. It's just before he was always so brooding and so like depressed. And even though he's kind of still like that, such this dry humor to him that to me, it makes me laugh. I think he's delivering it perfectly. I love, as Don was saying, I love the White Panther comment. To me, I was cracking up. I was like, oh, that's so funny that like Bucky knows that he's the White Wolf. Like he's aware of that. So I enjoyed that. And I don't know how to get a read on John Walker yet, because it's like it feels very, I think I said this last week, The Boys, right? The government making their own, and he's going to these like big, events, and he's having these freaking press things, and he's being interviewed and such. And it's like, I don't know how to read him because he so seems as if it's like, I'm just trying to be the good guy here. I'm not doing anything. It's like, well, then you could have become your own hero. You didn't have to become like Captain America. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes where it's like, how dare you stand where he once stood, in reference to like, Steve Rogers. I thought that was funny.
Right.
But whatchamacallit? Yeah, it's just I don't know how to read him. It's very interesting. I hate that he keeps calling. Sorry,
especially so just to kind of play off of that, Tia, that whole scene in the locker room is very wholesome. I mean, he's being honest, and she is being, it's so caring about like, and even talking with, Battlestar about the responsibility of it all. I'm like, he doesn't seem to have an agenda. Like,
I compare it to someone also has it here in the comments, and like you just said, Tia, I compare it to Homelander. Power is what corrupts them. You take the power away from Homelander, you see that he truly wants to be a better person. This doesn't really know how. And it looks like this might be the opposite, to where he is already a good person, but once he gains the power in the title, it will eventually corrupt him. I mean, we saw it outside the police station, to where it's like, all right, cool. You guys don't have to help, but you better stay out of my way.
So do you think it's going to be like a Blonsky thing?
Yablonsky, I never thought had good intentions.
Well, no, I mean, like once he gets it, it like starts to.
Oh yes,
yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do think the super soldier serum, the way they're creating it today, might have more mental effects. But I for sure think he is a guy who is a great person, who again didn't steal the cat moniker. I know a lot of people on Twitter are like, why would you steal? It's like, he didn't steal it. The government wanted to appoint someone, and he was the best guy for the position. You don't say no to that.
Right.
And he also doesn't have the emotional investment that everyone has. Like, everyone's like, how could you do that? That was Steve's. And to him, he's like, well, Steve's not here, and like, what better of a way to, what an honor to be the next Captain America. But it's like, no, dude, it doesn't go. There's way too much in the background with that. So I don't know how to get a read on him. Again, it could be one of those things where, Juwan, you just said, I keep going back to the character Nuke from Jessica Jones season 1, where at first he seemed as if he was a good guy, just wanted to help, and then he just slowly went crazy because of what he was taking. So it's like, maybe it could be something like that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved getting more with the Flag Smashers, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it yet, but the end of that episode, I loved it when they're like, we got to go see Zemo. And you just have like the orchestra music, which is like what every villain has playing in the background. And you see him in the cell, and he's just sitting there. And it's such the perfect setup for seeing him in the next episode. he was such an underrated villain and probably one of the best villains in the MCU. So I'm really excited to know that we're going to get him next episode. So yeah, I really like this episode. I didn't have a whole lot that I disliked about it. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Zemo's entrance was Big Daddy. There's Big Daddy Zemo right there. You know, he had to get the big boy opera music playing in the background. No words needed to be said. It was just, you guys already know why I'm here. You know.
Yeah, it was so badass. Like, and again, every villain, it's like a prerequisite to have to listen to opera. Like, even if you don't like it, it's like it has to be playing at some point in the background. But yeah, I love Zemo, and I forget the actor's name. It's like Daniel something, but he was really good. Daniel Grohl. Okay. Yeah. It's like when you see him, you're like, ooh, forget John Walker, forget the Flag Smashers, like, what's Zemo got up his sleeve? And it seems as if they're going like in a Hannibal Lecter sort of route. Like they have to go to him for answers to, complete this next mission.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's just, I want to see how they play it out. But to me right now, you're going on episode 3. There's three more episodes left. The danger of just now getting Zemo, which is why me and Trayvon were kind of thinking that first episode would be a little less story and more pick up on other things, because it's like you now haven't really, to your audience, properly established the Flag Smashers. Then in this episode, you bring in Power Broker. Now you're telling us in the next episode we're getting Zemo. I never say 50 villains are too much for a story, but that's because it's the course of a movie. So that's 2 hours worth of story. When you have 6 episodes and we're on the 3rd already, I got to see how you progress that, because it's so much more story to go.
My only defense there is, like with WandaVision, right? You had more episodes as opposed to this, but WandaVision's episodes were only like 20 minutes at most. So it's like these episodes are like 40 minutes. So it's only 6 episodes. You're still almost getting the same amount of time probably as you had with WandaVision.
For sure. My only issue is, though, that WandaVision had a very easy goal of there was one villain, and that was the only villain they were really focusing on. You had
not the villain that you wanted.
And who was that villain?
Look, I wasn't going to bring it up. I was moving past it, but yeah.
But in fairness, we didn't know that, though, Juwan.
No, we didn't, but we also didn't know that we weren't looking for 3 other villains also. It was clear it was going to be a person. But in this, again, I'm not saying it's too much. I'm not hopping on that train of you got too much going on. I got to see how it plays out. But I will say it is a little messy to start the way that they have started with these 3 villains, because you just haven't fully established one yet.
But I don't think there's no establishing Zemo. I mean, we know.
No, you don't have to establish Zemo, but remember, Zemo's his motivations in Civil War are now going to be different than his motivations here. So you have to establish that. And you still, not you, but the viewers still have no idea who the Power Broker is. So it's like, well, who the hell is that now? Like, so it's like, I'm going to see how they do it. Cautiously optimistic.
Well, then let me ask this. Are they purposely trying to establish too many villains to maybe progress a storyline of saying, well, John Walker he's a necessity, as are you guys as well. So there's more than just one big bad that you all have to work together with. So you guys have to figure a way to coexist because there's too much stuff going on.
I don't know, because I mean, now that you said that, I just remembered. Yes, he may become the U.S. agent by the end of this. So it might be 4 villains to round you out. So I don't know.
We have other people that are coming down the pipeline too, like Agent 13. We haven't even seen her yet.
I know. I'm so bummed we haven't. I mean, I've loved the episodes, but I'm bummed that we haven't seen her yet.
You probably may see her, maybe Zemo escapes or something like that, or I feel like she'll come in at a good time.
I would love for her to be the last part of the next episode. Remember how Cap entered in Infinity War?
Yeah,
like shadows. I would kind of love it to where it's like Bucky and Sam are like, they're in like a warehouse or something, and then you just kind of see her kind of come out of the shadows.
Well, and I wonder, Joanne, if that's when you're going to see a little more of if she isn't going to balance out that chemistry that you're having issue with. Yeah.
I was just thinking that because Sam and Bucky bicker so much, and Sharon is calmer, just like Steve
be the mediator
was.
kind of thing. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I would at this point take Red Wing as a mediator between that horrible back and forth. Michelle says here, or they are just confusing us like they did with WandaVision. I don't think so. I think what was most confusing about WandaVision was you didn't know who the main villain was.
Even though they told you from the beginning.
Well, yeah, essentially.
All along.
All along.
It's kind of like, I don't know. To me, I think one thing we have to keep an eye on is it is possible that the Flag Smashers could be something that's turned to where maybe Carly doesn't have anybody else and she maybe teams with Bucky and Falcon. So that could be good, bad turn good, and maybe that kind of helps turn the tides. There's just a
Robin
lot
Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
I do think Bucky will be the key to that if that even happens. I think Bucky will kind of relate to her. And it'll not relationship like dating. I mean, relationship kind of like, I get you. I understand where you're coming from. So I think that'll kind of be the parallel between the two.
But we got to remember the one thing. One thing we just got to remember, though, once again, just like with WandaVision, they never promised us, that any of these people were going to be realistically be the main, people in these shows. All right. So we know we're going to see people. They never promised us anything. So when we're sitting there thinking about, putting too many people in it, they never told us that this person was going to definitely be the main antagonist or main person here. There. So, if we get a scene that somebody's only in one episode or a couple of episodes or a scene, that's what we're getting. They're letting you know
what you're saying, Prime. We could only have Zemo for one episode.
Yeah.
They might get what they need from him and it's done. And Juwan's going to be so mad.
That's my train of thought too. My train of thought's the same.
Do you see that face already?
I don't think it's going to wrap up as cleanly as we think. I think if it was like 4 or 5 villains, there'll be one main one that gets like abolished or locked up, and the rest of them will be existing somewhere else for however long.
I like where your head's at, because I do fully believe. All right, so in my mind, this is how this show ends, right? So it ends where Flag Smashers are stopped. Power Broker kind of exists in the background, kind of like, what AIM should have been.
Don't even go down that road, man.
Take a deep breath.
Oh, man.
Let it go.
Anyway, I think this could possibly end with how the first Iron Man ended, with a recruitment. And I think we could see Ross with Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Taskmaster, maybe he takes on U.S. Agent, and of course Baron Zemo. And that's how we get maybe the first team of the Thunderbolts to arrive. And I do believe this is my biggest guess, that after this show finishes, like this season finishes, Kevin Feige will announce Thunderbolts as a series. He can't do it yet because it would spoil maybe what you might see in this. I think Thunderbolts 1,000% is going to be a show. You just have Marvel has a chance to do the MCU Suicide Squad.
I think they're waiting on Suicide Squad to do a good job first. I
think if you're Marvel, you don't rely on that. I think it kind of works the other way. I think DC is kind of like, let's see how they do Dragon.
I think that's why they haven't done Namor yet, though, is because they saw Aquaman and like, I don't think we're gonna crack $1 billion, but maybe they could. I don't know. I would have been scared away.
All in the casting. You cast anybody else as Aquaman, that movie isn't that strong.
I think they would have
Momoa is the right amount of man to carry Aquaman.
He does carry that movie. That's for sure.
I mean, he's the only guy that could be Aquaman that I'm like, all those Aquaman jokes I had to throw away before I met him. Like I didn't say anything to them anymore.
I mean, he was the only good thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Anyway, all right. Like you were saying,
let's talk about that.
I'll have that conversation another time.
I want to go over to Dan really quickly.
It was a masterpiece. I'm gonna throw that out there. I'm tired of that.
Anyway, Dan, I want to go to you. Your thoughts on this all new episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I enjoyed it. It was a good episode. I thought it was a tad rushed with the banter between Bucky and Sam. Like we really need to show people that they still don't get along, so we need to put them in as many situations where they just disagree. But the banter's still fun. They do play very well off of each other. But it was just like constant arguing. Like, okay, it's we get it. Right. But I saw there was two things that stood out to me in this episode, and one of them was from a tweet that I saw, and it was basically like, oh, the first episode was so good because it was just unrelenting action, and that's what we need. And then the second episode was it's like quote unquote woke. I was like, oh well, because now we're tackling real world situations, and I saw someone else say the scene where the cops stop Bucky and Sam in the street, and they're like, oh well, because all cops are racist. I don't think they're saying that. I think they're saying maybe that one cop has some issues because the other cop stops him and says, "Yo, dude, that's an Avenger, so take it easy." And it's hard to face those situations because it absolutely happens in real life. I mean, Patrick Ewing, one of the greatest Knicks of all time, was stopped in Madison Square Garden. So just because you're famous really doesn't mean that you're going to just be able to go wherever you want sometimes. So that stood out to me. And the second part was I am loving the writing for these shows. The writing and the dialogue is so good at times. And when Bucky and Sam are having their little therapy session, and it all comes out where Sam or Bucky says, if he was wrong about you, that means he was wrong about me. And that hits so hard and it really brings everything to fruition that's just a huge part of what's bothering Bucky. It's not that he's upset that Sam gave up the shield because he didn't think it was right. It's just that it's playing off of his own self insecurities. Like, well, Steve picked you for a reason and he said you're a good man, but if you're not a good man, then what am I? He probably feels like he's the devil. I agree with your point, Juan, that maybe there's too many villains, and it kind of makes me think that maybe the Flag Smashers are not villains. I think that in the one scene where Sam and Bucky are stopping the convoy, and they're like, oh, they're stealing vaccines. I tend to think that they're probably stealing vaccines for the people who are kind of being left behind.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my friend about it where they have a good point that 3.5 billion people just showed up back on Earth. So it's a monumental task for governments to keep track of those people. And in real life, governments would probably topple because you've gotten rid of 3.5 billion people, and then all of a sudden they reappear. How are you going to get them back into society? How are you going to feed them? How are you going to house them? How are you going to pay them and stuff like that? So things are going to be really bad, and I can see where the Flag Smashers are saying, things were better when there wasn't so many people around, because now the people that were around then are being left behind. So they're like Robin Hood. They're trying to steal from the government to help those who have been left behind. So I think it's going to come to fruition that, maybe just because they haven't, as far as I know, they haven't killed anybody. They haven't really hurt anybody. So maybe it's just going to be like, oh, well, just because they're stealing, they're bad guys. Might not necessarily be the case.
I I don't think they knew Torres would survive that attack.
That's true. Yeah, he got his ass handed to him. Yeah, it's. I guess the jury's still out on it. My belief is that they're not truly evil. I think that they're just trying to. Well, what's the saying? One person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean, we spoke about that a little bit earlier, because in the comics, the Flag Smashers, they believe in a world without government. Mm-hmm. Everyone's treated the same. It's a world without. They call it now a world without borders. So great idea. Same thing as what Killmonger was preaching. Great idea. The difference is when you now begin to say, I'll kill to achieve it. It's like, you had me till that right there. No, you can't do that. So that's why I mean by like bad guys, because it does look like the Flag Smashers will do whatever they have to achieve this goal that they're on. But yeah, I mean, I was just saying it very, very well could be the Flag Smashers get decimated. Carly Morgenthau, who's the leader of the Flag Smashers in the show, I think she's gonna have some kind of connection with Bucky. I mean, even if you look at, you guys know I freeze frame everything. The first or second trailer where it's like a shipping containments. You see like Bucky shooting and kind of like shielding someone as like they're trying to like retreat, and it looks like Carly Morgenthau that it looks like he's protecting as they're trying to escape. So I do believe that'll be a connection between the two. Two people who have shared the juice in their body, who have shared being looked at differently by society. I think there's a few things that could bring them two together to kind of maybe go out against Zemo if Zemo turns into the actual bad guy of this series. So I think it'll smooth itself out a little bit for sure. But to your point, Dan, by the way, you're getting a lot of love, Dan, from the comments. They agree with you on the Bucky moment where he's like, if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. But to me, you know what? And you were even saying like the arguing was kind of just like, all right, we get it. And you know what? I keep going back to when Stark and Cap were arguing. Like it never felt like, all right, we get it. Like it was kind of just like, and then moving on, To me, I don't need this show to be two guys who kind of hate each other, but they got to get along to get the job done. No, why can't it be more just like Lethal Weapon, where it's like we're friends?
We know that they're going to end up like loving each other, in a platonic way, or not. But we we know that they're going to end up like loving each other because of them going like, after this we're done, that's it, no more. And at the end of the show it's going to be like, all this time I was really hard on you, but you're kind of okay. You're kind of okay too. All right, we'll be friends then. Let's go get a beer.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, exactly.
We're done.
We kind of have to see it play out, but just as of now, it's kind of like that to me was like a really fun narrative when Steve was there, because Steve was kind of like the parent separating the bickering kids. Right. Now that he's not there, it's like, well, that should have been where it was kind of bygones or bygones for Steve's memory. Like, all right, enough. Let's come together for that. But I don't know, Tia. I like the idea. I think Joel said this to me. I like the idea of maybe, because obviously Cap didn't take on this moniker. He took on the wardrobe, but not the name. I kind of like Bucky to become Nomad. Maybe have a whole storyline of his own. Let Falcon have this show. You bring on the Patriot. Maybe the next season is Sam with the Patriot. And Bucky has his Nomad show. I would really like that, because to me, you can't keep calling him the Winter Soldier. No. At some point, he has to be given an actual code name that's not offensive or makes him remember all the millions of people he killed. So I'm like, Nomad fits, because that's what Cap went under. That's what he went as. The suit, just for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, in Infinity War, when he stepped out of the shadows from the train, that suit is from when he became the Nomad. So that's where they kind of took that from. So I'm like, I would like Bucky to become that, just so we have something else to call him. I'm sick of the Winter Soldier. Just too long.
Could call him the White Wolf.
Yeah, there you go. He already has the nickname.
I would never call him that. I don't even like him calling himself that. And like, if you notice, nobody in Wakanda called him that after he said that. It was just kind of like one kid said that. I don't know.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't have a whole show in Wakanda.
When you watch the movie, T'Challa doesn't call him White Wolf.
Yes, he did.
When?
Yes, he did. He said the white wolf has rested long enough, or so.
Yeah.
Or a line to that effect.
So T'Challa did.
Yeah, T'Challa called him that.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
T'Challa
did.
got paid to say that.
And he might be called that again.
All right. I'm just trying to picture Bucky like, hey, do me a favor. Don't call me Winter Soldier. Like, White Wolf is great. You just maybe call me that, and it's like once. We'll do it once. Because like I can picture Bucky like, man, I want a cool name. You guys all seem cool, and it's like, well, there you go. That's it. But I'll only call you that once. You get one time. But Prime, I want to go to you. Your thoughts on this episode? I see your Captain America shirt. I see
you like that, huh?
I see it. What were your thoughts on this episode?
Very good episode. Although I do agree with you about the interaction seeming a little forced. For me, early, I think that was the case for me early when they first started interacting. It clicked. It didn't take long to click, though. Maybe up until they got to the part when they were fighting with the Flag Smashers and Sam hits him with that line. He said, that girl just kicked your ass. Remember, he was up under the bottle. And things started to flow a little bit. But right at the beginning, to me, their relationship seemed, between them, it seemed a little forced, the way the acting did to me. Beyond that, I thought it was really, really good. And all the, all the references. Good to see my man Carl Lumbly, still working as he joined Ryan Reynolds and Ben Affleck as being someone who's been in both DC now and in a Marvel property.
Right.
That was awesome seeing that. The white, you just talking about the White Wolf reference. We don't know Giovanni might be the White Wolf. I mean, there's Black Panther 2 coming. You don't know, he could end up right back there.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So,
White Wolf.
Yes.
Please don't be like, hey guys, Wakanda's in trouble. Here's your savior, White Wolf.
No. He's just going to move back in like the hut. Like, there's going to be a battle, and they're like, "Are you here to participate?" He's like, "No,
like,
I'm just here to move back.
I'm just going home.
This is my vacation home.
Yeah.
He's
My vacation hut.
Yeah.
Well, he said in Infinity War, man, I love this place.
But I thought all that was great. I also like the, we're talking about the speculation as far as, Walker and Lamar Hoskins about the whole thing with the powers. And you do know that Lamar Hoskins was one of the people that wore the Bucky costume at some point, before it became a Battlestar. It's just, it was just so much with this episode to point towards. I hated seeing Red Wing go down, but then again, we already talked about whether they're going to bring him back, and I'm still trying to champion to get a real bird. I don't care about all the other stuff. Let's get the real bird, like an enhanced bird. I mean, can you give a bird the super soldier serum? I don't know. I mean, can we get that done?
Yeah, it would like basically be like Laserbeak, is what you're saying.
So, Prime, what are you gonna do the next time they come against the Flag Smashers and they grab the real bird and split them in half?
I've only teared up during a couple of Marvel properties, so that might be one of the times that my eyes get a little watered. That happens,
you
man.
tear up, yeah. Start to get cut. I can see.
Yeah, man, I thought all of it was great. Also, and I don't always, I be on my dime a little bit every now and then, right? And I was looking for some Easter eggs in this one. And the first thing that I was proud of myself because I caught it was towards the end when they went to see Zemo. And you notice that Zemo was in, 2187?
Yes.
Well, that was what Princess Leia was.
Yes.
When she was capturing the Death Star. So I was pretty proud of myself for catching that one. Being a Star Wars head. But yeah, overall, I really like the I like the episode. Other than right at the beginning, this a little bit, like I say, was a little bit forced for me, the interaction. But other than that, I thought it was really great. Oh, and I did love the scene as well when Bucky caught the shield with his non-adamantium on. So I thought that was pretty great. But it was a solid episode.
Yeah, I mean, Tia's literally writing that.
Yeah, she just sent the GIF of it.
I
Yeah,
just sent that GIF.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that shit, and how he like looks at John like he really doesn't want to give that shit back. Like, you mother effer, I don't even want to give this to you.
Hey, did anybody get the same feeling I got though when they were in the Sam and them finally accepted the ride from Walker and Hoskins? And the whole mention thing when they were talking about, what did he say? Androids, aliens, and wizards, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the
three.
The three.
The big three,
The super soldier thing came up. And did you guys kind of see like John Walker? Kind of like he just kind of brush it off a little bit.
He's like, huh.
Super soldier.
Huh, okay.
Something to watch,
Yeah, no, for sure. He's got something in him. I've only seen that look twice. Once with Alex Rodriguez, and it was true. The other one seems with the U.S. agent. So. Walks like a duck, they always say,
Hey man, A-Rod went up right now, man. You got to bring that up.
My bad, A-Rod. We got a few comments here. JPP Creative says Sam and Bucky should get an apartment and be Marvel's odd couple. I think exclusively a comedy, I think would maybe we got from Martin. Huge shouts out to Martin recovering. We send all of our love to you, Martin.
No doubt.
Yes.
Martin says T'Challa did. He said he was screaming in the hospital room. I forgot he wasn't wearing his AirPods. He also agrees with you. He says if it was good enough for the comic book Falcon, we can get that real bird. Just the aesthetic of him releasing a real bird from that would be just the worst.
He has one of those, like, have you guys seen those backpacks that they make so you can like carry your cat around?
Right.
Yes. That's his bird.
I mean, we're not even mentioning the line of the entire episode where she breaks Red Wing and Bucky's like, I've always wanted to do that.
That was so great.
So bad. Let's see. I think Walker could have been the one who texted Carly that she took what was his. That's from Bonnie. Possible. Very I mean, with this show, to me, it's not as espionage as Winter Soldier was, but it's somewhere in that middle realm. It's like a bridge between Lethal Weapon and like an actual spy show. It's like a healthy balance of that. Bucky definitely being the one to give the line, I'm too old for this shit.
Wouldn't it make sense that it was Ross who was messaging her?
Yes, to go into my full-on theory, yes, I would need it to be. I can't go over.
I think it is.
I can't go 0 for 2, Dan. I cannot.
I'm with you on this one. I have your back on this one.
Will you be rioting with him then if it's not?
I'm not much of a rioter. I'll just tweet angrily. I'll write a snarky tweet. That's it.
I'll take it, Dan. I'll take
it. Dan, can you live tweet his riot?
Yes, I'll do my best.
So no punching babies from Dan.
No punching. No, I don't punch babies. It's
wink, Dan. Wink. Trayvon, I want to pass it over to you. What were some of the things that stood out to you from this episode?
Let's see. I guess I'm different than most people on this panel, where I like their banter back and forth. I was waiting for it. That's what I was missing from the last episode for me. Last episode for me felt too slow for me, and I said that last week. I was very, very excited to see. As soon as I saw him sitting there looking, in my reaction, I was like, okay, go get it, Bucky, go get the shield from him. Like, do something. Like, don't just sit there, do something. So when he walked in, he was like, "Why don't you get the shield?" I was like, "Yes, he's here finally. Let's go." Finally, they're together. I'm tired. That's what the show's called. That's what I wanted. So here we are. So yeah.
Quick question, Trayvon. I want to ask this really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm one of those people that just nitpick for no reason. Did anybody else question how Bucky knew where Sam was?
Yes.
He has no government connections. I mean, and it looked like Falcon was shocked to see him, so he didn't text him and ask him where he was.
He's a spy. He's a spy. He has resources.
Tia, I assume knowing how fast Bucky could run, he got his flash on. He ran to every building. He said, nope, not here. Let me go for another jog. Nope, not here. All right, found you. Fine.
That's why he was so angry. He was at the end of a run. Yeah.
Find you, and you're talking about what am I doing here?
It's always the last place you look.
Right. He probably ran past that building 8 times and was like, I knew I should have went there. I knew it. It's the first thing that popped up because he walked in, and again, it's a government hangar.
Hangar, yeah.
So he just walked in like he wasn't. Like he wasn't the Winter Soldier, just angry. Like, where's Falcon? There you are. How dare you? And everyone just
has a pardon.
Walk in. Yeah,
he does have a pardon,
but doesn't mean he has access.
Doesn't mean he has. Yeah, thank you. Doesn't mean he has access.
Are you gonna see an angry Winter Soldier walking somewhere and dare to ask him if he has permission to be on site? Like, I'm not. I am not.
I would probably start shooting at his feet, like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, I didn't even know this exists.
He wanted to mention though when he got arrested during the therapy session. There's texting that's been going on between them, but he just wasn't picking them up.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was kind of alluding to like where he was, but I'm with you though. Like he just seemed to exactly know. So unless he's giving coordinates.
To your point, Ryan, I think his texts were more so. I think Sam reached out to Bucky before he made the decision to give up the shield. I think he really wanted to hear from somebody that would understand him before he made the decision. We were saying this last week. I think that's why he reached out to him.
Okay. But then why didn't Falcon say that? Like, dude, I text you like 87 times.
I'm going to tell you right now, KJ, it's a small thing called male pride.
It was because
male pride. It's male. It's why guys don't tell other guys that they miss them. It's just like
it's because Sam.
I'm different. I tell people that.
It was because Sam was only asking Bucky about his advice for the thing, but never was bothered asking Bucky how he was. So he took that shit personally.
Look at that. Look at you going so deep there. Look at that. Nice. Okay. All right, so clearly Tia is who trained the therapist in these episodes. Tia trained her, and that's why she's so good. But no, I mean that's a really good point. But Trayvon, I'm sorry, pass it back to you.
No problem. I just felt like maybe he hacked something and found him. I'm not gonna nitpick it. Let it go. Whatever. I'm happy he's there. So I like that. Of course, I like their banter. Whatever. It's cool. I hate John Walker. Yes, I did like at the beginning where he was like, I said it. I was like, oh, they're trying to make us like him. It's not gonna work. So they did that. I was like, oh, and then when he was running on the field and doing all that, I was like, God, it's making me hate him more for this. So then when he sat there and gave his little story, I was like, oh God, let's get over this, please. And then he said, what did he say? I'm not Bruce Banner, I'm not Tony Stark. And I was like, keep going. And you're not Steve Rogers. Right. Like, let's keep going. Don't just stop there. Like, I didn't like that. I was like, keep going. And then when fast forward to them doing all that and the thing breaking and yes, he showed up, and I hated when the music started playing when he showed up to help them on top of the trucks. Mm-hmm. I was like, I know they're not playing a theme for this guy. Like, let's not do that.
You are not theme worthy.
And then I had the subtitles on too. So when when they were in the truck and they were talking and it said Captain America when he started talking, I was like,
yes, it did say that. I was like, did you just do that?
I was like, come on, man. And then when they were in there talking, and I was like, okay, he said he's not trying to be Steve Rogers, he's just trying to be Captain America. At that slight moment, I was like, okay, he's all right, he's okay. Mm-hmm. And he said I wanted his wingman with me, and I was like, okay, I'm out. That's it. I'm done. That's it. No, you ruined it. I gave you a little bit. You just destroyed it right there. So when he got out of the thing, I was like, I understand. Like, they hate you too. Great. And then when he said, and then when the cops showed up, I mean, yes, that part was maybe a little forced, but I was like, sort of realistic. I was like, oh, he's arguing with a white man in the street. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, whatever. And then I mean, maybe that part was bad, but I did like how they were automatically like, oh, he's bothering you, sir. And then you found out that Bucky's the one getting arrested. I thought that was, I mean, I was like, well, yeah, look at that. Look at it flipped. And he's not the one wrong, he is. And then you see Sam just standing there like, wow, it just happened to me. This, it doesn't matter, that I'm Falcon or whatever. It really doesn't matter. They probably would. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have got that far, but you see how the news goes. So when later on when he comes to the police station, John Walker, I'm not calling him whatever name he wants to call himself. So when he comes to the police station and they were like, who made the decision? He was like, I did. I was like, oh my God. I hate him so much. And then we're outside and he says, stay out of my way. And I literally said it's my reaction. I said it as a joke, but I wasn't really joking. I was like, how about we just kill him and take the shit? And we just keep. Bucky could do it. Bucky could have done it. Like, just do it. It's fine. This is the one kill I've given permission to do. Do it right now. Right here in this darkness, do it. Like, it was very so, especially when he played the police, when he played the siren. Like, I was like, really? Like, what? Like, that's not cool right now. Why would you play that siren? That really annoyed me a lot when he played the siren.
He was he's a real bold. He was like, oh, look, I'm a superhero. I can do whatever I want. And it's like the real Captain America couldn't even do what he wanted when he was, around and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm with you though. I'm with you. His mama named John. I'm gonna call him John. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm just really excited to see Zemo because he was their best villain to me. The way he broke their vengeance up, he won. Although he might got caught, but he definitely accomplished what he wanted. So now I'm wondering who's gonna go now. What? Go ahead.
I want to argue that because I hear that too much. A lot of people keep saying Zemo is who split the Avengers.
He did.
Zemo is not who split the Avengers.
Who did?
The Sokovia Accords by Ross is who split the Avengers.
But he started it. He started the whole tension, the rolling, I think. That red tape that Ross was trying to do probably wouldn't have gone in the direction it would have if it weren't for Zemo putting in place what he put in place.
No, because you got to remember, the beginning of the movie is what led to the Sokovia Accords, not the bombing of the whatchamacallit. It was when Wanda exploded that
trying to save them.
Yeah, in Lagos. Yeah.
That's when the Sokovia Accords came into.
Yeah, but no, not the Sokovia Accords per se, like that splitting, but the reason why Cap and Tony didn't talk for years is because Zemo put into place for Tony to find out what happened to his parents.
That's what split up mom and dad.
That's the real split to me. That's
right,
the real
but
split.
that's splitting up Cap and Tony. That was towards
those are the Avengers. I mean, that's split.
Right. That's splitting the Avengers, dude.
But remember, they were split before Tony found out Bucky killed his parents. They were split in the airport scene. They were split well before that. And I'm like, the Sokovia Accords and Ross did that. He did that as soon as that moment where Cap's like, you almost had me, Tony. So you told me you're keeping Wanda hostage. And then that was the moment that they were just like, we'll never see eye to eye on this.
They were split, but they didn't hate each other.
I respectfully disagree because
that's very true.
Zemo. So even before the Accords were signed, yes, they were split. Like they were arguing back and forth. Should we sign? Shouldn't we sign? Okay, fine. They were at odds with each other, but it wasn't until Zemo had that prosthetic making him look like Bucky Barnes that bombed the UN for the signing of the Sokovia Accords, which psychologically put them into a tailspin, knowing full well that Cap would do anything to save Bucky, no matter if it meant splitting up the Avengers or being at odds with Tony or whatnot. So I agree with Tia. Zemo split the Avengers.
Are we sure the Sokovia Accords was signed after that? I thought it was signed once Ross, not signed, but I thought it was official once Ross brought it to them in that meeting before.
No.
No.
That
was why they were doing
That's why they went to
No,
Berlin.
I'm saying it was law. They just then needed the Avengers to sign it, but it was already law at that point.
No, they were ratifying it in Berlin.
Yeah.
They were going to ratify it. It was not.
That's what they were voting on.
Yes. Yeah. So it hadn't taken effect yet.
All right. I don't admit when I'm wrong.
So case in point,
I think that was admitting you were wrong.
Right?
What's that?
Tony said it was going to happen regardless of whether or not they signed.
Right.
It was just a matter of time.
Right, because here's the thing. That's okay. That's what I think I was trying to get to. They didn't need them to sign.
Right.
The whole thing was whether or not they were going to make it law, but they had to kind of adhere to them regardless.
They had to pick a side one way or the other. Yeah.
For me, I felt like the chorus didn't matter. I felt like they were gonna do what they wanted regardless. It was like, it was sign it or whatever. Just like Natasha was like, "What do you do if you don't sign it?"
Yeah,
like,
you gonna stop Thor
honestly.
from whooping someone's ass? No.
Right. That didn't stop Hawkeye from coming out of retirement.
Which is why Thor and Banner weren't there. Like that was
sorry.
I told Juwan, by the way, that you guys aren't going to see me when I won't be here for the however many weeks.
I told you, Tia, if I had to show up for this show, you will be here for the Hawkeye show.
Apples and oranges, bro.
100% not.
Yeah, because he does.
For Kate Bishop. Show up for Kate Bishop.
Yeah, Kate Bishop, man.
By the way, Tia, let me just tell you this now. Kate Bishop in the comics does take the moniker Hawkeye. So Hawkeye won't even complain anymore.
Kate Bishop and Yelena can hang out, and we can see Jeremy Renner maybe for like 5 minutes on screen. It'll be fine. But let me not take away from this episode. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, to round us out, Ryan, of the night, what were your thoughts on this second episode?
Oh man, especially not being able to say anything last week. Had a little bit of issues with episode 1 with the bank loan. I thought it was powerful, but I wish it had just been the sister instead of Sam there, because I think the celebrity part of it kind of it brought its own message, but I just thought the struggling mother part would have been great. Beyond that, getting to episode 2, I love John Walker. I know everyone's gonna hate me for saying it, but I really like the guy. He gave I didn't know, maybe he did have a girlfriend in the comics, but whoever she was added just another layer that I didn't realize from the John Walker character. Because in a lot of ways, I thought of him like kind of someone said earlier, like Nuke, where I just thought he was going to be like a charmer. Yeah, like Tia, where I thought he was going to be a charmer and he was going to just, schmooze his way around until everyone was like, yeah, I kind of like this guy as a new Captain America. And then he was going to have a villainous turn. Maybe that'll still happen. I don't know, but I like him. And maybe it's because him as an actor, I just, if you ever see Lodge 49, I love him in that show. He's so good. I can't wait to see what happens with him. He'll probably have a villainous turn. Gripe, though, is I think this show is bloated. It just has too many things going on. I love seeing Isaiah Bradley. I love seeing, kind of, I guess that would be Elijah we talked about before. Then we'll see possibly, I forget his name, but he's Falcon's military buddy. He becomes Falcon in the comics. Thank you. There are just so many other pieces that I think they're laying the groundwork here for a lot of things. And I don't know how much of it's going to come to roost, like within the context of this show, but I wish it was more about the dynamic of them being like, kind of like you said, the lethal weapon, like at odds with each other while all this other chaos is going around them. And in the course of that, they just kind of come together. But man, I don't know. It's interesting because I don't know how I feel about, I think they call her Carrie Morganfield instead of Carl from the comics. Carly, yeah. She's okay. I just don't like, she was great in Solo. I actually kind of liked her there, but in this, she seems so like non-threatening, despite the fact that so many of them had the super soldier serum in them. So I don't know, like, if I need all those guys to have the power. There's so much super soldier serum going around these days. It it feels like it loses that effect. And
well, I think they missed the boat on that, because I remember how they built up the super soldier serum in Civil War, like that second half of the movie, and then you're thinking, oh man, we're gonna see Cap and Bucky facing off against these wannabe super soldiers, and then it was just Zemo like, I press play, and you're like, okay, all right. I kind of would have preferred the third act to have been the three of them facing these super soldiers.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they recycled it to using it now, of using these super soldiers facing off against a new Cap and Bucky, essentially.
Yeah, I just think it kind of diminishes that specialness of Captain America, whether it's him or someone who takes the mantle. If everyone can keep getting it generation after generation, you know, how spread out does this thing get? Like, I think it was like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they were trying to disperse the Inhumans. I can't think of the word. The thing that makes the Terrigen mist as crystals. They were trying to spread it all around the globe. And I'm like, well, if everyone has the thing, like how special is that thing anymore? And I'm curious to see who else gets it, if there's someone else we haven't seen. I mean, like I mentioned before, we haven't seen Agent 13 even pop up yet, and I really wanted more of her in this series.
Her name is Sharon Carter.
Thank you, Sharon Carter.
That was funny.
I don't know, it's looking for me for some reason, but
I called Agent 13 too.
No, we were just yelling at Juwan for it.
Yes,
you
you weren't here when we yelled at Juwan.
Me and him, man. I don't know. But yeah, like I want to see, because if you've seen the merchandise, it has her kind of like on the run. Something's going on with her. I think it might be because of the Sokovia Accords. I'm not sure.
She gave them their stuff back. Remember?
Because she gave them the shield. Yeah. Yeah, they mentioned that she's on the run because of that.
Yeah, I just feel more so she's a soldier without a home.
Yeah.
So, you know, shield doesn't exist anymore. So she doesn't even have like Fury to go to. Which, by the way, is really dirty, because I doubt Maria Hill is still here on Earth. I'm sure Maria is somewhere with Fury, and he's just like I'm sure Fury got up there and he's like, I know I'm missing someone.
No, they definitely did. Like, I mean, everyone did Sharon dirty.
Yeah,
they did dirty. Kevin Feige, you, Juwan.
Yep.
I mean, look, ain't nobody do her dirtier than Steve. Steve was like, I really like you, but I'd rather retire with your aunt. I'm gonna do that.
At least she is like probably in like the less than 1% of the world who can say that they kissed Steve Rogers. I mean, there's your consolation prize.
No one's gonna believe her. They're like, yeah, right.
It's a bar story she tells people, and they're
right,
like,
I imagine that.
Just like, if you ever see Falcon or Winter Soldier, you ask them. I have proof.
Witnesses.
Yeah, no.
Could you picture calling them in the middle of a mission and it's like, no, go to FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
tell them that I kissed him, and it's like, why are you calling me? But no, Ryan. I mean, no, go ahead, finish, Ryan.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, do you think, and I'm putting this out to you guys, like, that Shield or Sword will get involved in this in any way now that we've already seen it kind of planted?
No.
Shield doesn't exist anymore, and Sword, as you see with Wanda, has way too much to worry about.
And by Shield, I mean like Maria Hill.
I don't think I mean, we don't know, so I'm not saying it definitively, but I really don't think Maria Hill is still here on Earth. I think she's wherever Fury is.
Now let me ask this: is Hydra still around though? Hydra's still around, correct?
No,
because wasn't in Ant-Man was after Winter Soldier. And what's his nuts that was buying the particle said he works for Hydra, our friends at Hydra.
Yeah, I think Hydra might be one of those things that's now become like a Kickstarter. Like, it's not really like really.
Come on, not a Kickstarter.
Oh,
throw in a few bucks if you want to bring Hydra back.
Right? Yeah.
In the first Ant-Man, Darren Cross was like workshopping his serum to Hydra. He's like, they're not as bad as everyone says that they are.
Right.
I don't think Hydra and Shield are as big as they were in the movie The Winter Soldier.
I think Hydra's always there. You can cut off 1, 2 more will grow in its place. So there's somewhere.
Right. How do you kill an ideology? So,
Sure. I mean, we could see Zemo come out of the woodworks and be the new face of Hydra. I mean, it's possible.
Exactly.
To me, it all depends because we see where Marvel's trending. Like there was a whole era of espionage where that fit. We're now heading into space and celestial beings, and it's like I don't really know where Hydra works in that.
Well, the thing is, though, would they make that big of a deal to have Isaiah even mention Hydra at all if they're not going to pop up at some point?
Right.
I mean, I just took it as, that was his history. Hydra was his history.
But they made a point, though. I mean, he looks at them, even the experiment on me, and then your people,
even the opening part, even the opening.
It was a hard,
But episode 1's opening, what does Bucky say? Hail Hydra. So I mean, like it's recurring.
Yeah. I mean, look, you guys are spot on with that. I am not resting on that purely because I did hear a saying called the devil's in the details. That's not the only place he is, and that meant nothing. So it's very possible that words could just be said here in this moment.
Got a point.
It's good that you can laugh about this now.
It's only because I'm dead inside. So
he cries after these. He shuts off. He says goodbye, and then he's like, he could have had Mephisto.
You're gonna cry when you get in the car.
I feel the same about the Fantastic Four. I feel the same.
Trayvon, that is not the same thing. I can't.
Don't invalidate Trayvon.
Yes, it is.
That is not the same thing.
They got referenced 3 times. It was the same thing.
They specifically didn't get referenced. They said the word devil like 90 times in that show.
They did not say it 90 times.
They said it at least 89. Only for the showrunner to be like, I didn't even know who Mephisto was. It was just like, I'd fight.
Now, see, Brandon brings up a good question in the comments. Is Isaiah Mephisto? Huh? Yeah.
Nice one, Brandon.
At this point, yes. Can he?
Red Wing is Mephisto.
I'll take it. His essence came out of the Miracle.
He's red. The devil's red.
Right. And Falcon carries him in like a papoose, and he's fighting people.
As you listeners can see, these are my friends. But go ahead, Dom.
No, I was gonna say that we know Marvel loves acronyms, right? We know like all the best villain groups have an acronym. And with there being the Flag Smashers, and we don't know where it's going to lead to, could this lead to Ultimatum? So if you have this remnants of Hydra, you have this new group of the Flag Smashers, and I'm sure at some point that Carly won't be a part of them, but there'll be some leftover of that could lead into Ultimatum being this new villainous group with a mixture of people from different evil forces to come together as one.
That's extremely possible. Just again, fingers crossed, Thunderbolts is what we get out of it. But Ultimatum, I didn't even think of that. That is actually pretty genius.
That'd be one hell of a cabal.
I mean, to me, I look at how poorly AIM was done, and it's just like they do not do these groups well. Like they're just like, ugh. So to me, if they do Ultimatum, hopefully it's good. I need to see a little bit more of the Flag Smashers. I just really like Carly. So hopefully it all pans out. And again, I can't wait for the episode where it will debunk literally everything that I'm dreaming of. But that Madripoor episode, I can't wait for it. I can't wait to see why they have to go to Madripoor, and if we hear some claw-like stories that exist in there. So
Omega Red? Oh, not man.
I'm gonna
go ahead and you guys are the best of the worst.
What a bunch of assholes.
I will drink to that.
Brandon, I do say Brandon won the comment of the night. Shout out to Brandon releasing the cut. Don't worry, guys.
Hashtag release the Mephisto cut.
Let's get started.
I'm gonna get with Zach. I'm gonna get his fans.
You keep Zack Snyder away from any Marvel
Zack
project.
Snyder does not get in this universe.
I bet he does. I bet he does.
Oh hell no!
I bet he does.
Watch how
good
Juwan
friend
wait,
Angel.
Tia. You know what? Time
Remember-
out. This is what I'm gonna do for you, Tia. I'm gonna produce it. Zach will write it. And what's his name? Jeremy Renner will direct. And
they'll come out, and then 5 years later they'll do a release. Or yeah, we know. I remember Angel did a tweet going, "What project do you want Zack Snyder to do?" And I was like, "None." Stay away.
Agreed.
Anyway, we will not slander the man Zack Snyder. But anyway, this was a great show, a great episode, guys. I want to thank KJ, Patches, Trayvon, Dom, Tia, Prime, Ryan, Dan, and Clay. I'm missing someone. Clay is who I'm missing. Okay. Because I always fear that I forget to say someone at the end of these shows. Clay also. Guys, please, if you have not, please make sure you are following the Kinda Nerdy Network, Kinda Nerdy Girls, Kinda Nerdy Dudes. New episodes have dropped, correct?
Yes.
Dudes is dropped. Girls are coming tomorrow.
Tia, you may like it. Juwan, you will not like the dudes.
He lost his mind on the
I
Snyder
lost my
cut.
shit.
Like,
I really did. I got angry.
I was like over here, like I don't even know what to do.
I said to Juwan, I was like, let's review it. And it's like, I think he doesn't want to review it because he knows what. And I actually watched it. I wasn't one of those that's like, I'm not going to watch it. It's like, I'll put it on. And I watched that.
I was yelling. I was so mad.
I
can't wait to watch it.
People I know openly disliked it.
Why?
We can have a discourse. We can have a discourse. You can have Trayvon on, and we can,
I want the
because Trayvon liked it, right?
I loved it.
So you can have Trayvon and Juwan.
The Snyder Cut review. Let's do
I want the Snyder Cut of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
they say there's 20 minutes that didn't go into
Trayvon,
it.
I will run it for you, and you can be I am not putting myself through any of that stress. None of it. Nope, not doing it.
Tia, new dudes, you'll love it. Juwan, you'll hate it. So we'll just leave it there.
Needs to do another. They called us a movie about it, and he said just no. He's not putting himself through that.
Anyway,
I refuse to watch it. I won't watch it.
Good for you.
Save yourself 4 hours.
You not watch it. That's fine. I'd rather you not watch it than to watch it and then I keep trying to remind people, it only exists because all the negativity was so widely popular for the release of the theatrical version. It's what led to this. So
congratulations, you made it worse.
About it led to that.
Made it worse. Did you watch it?
I mean, Mike, yeah, I did. That's the problem. That's the problem. I watched it. You made it worse. You can't. No, never mind. I'm not getting into it. This is the MCR. My bad.
Please don't fire him up again.
It's all right. It's all right. Again, these are probably one of the. Like when friends go, "Hey, we can't talk politics."
Right.
This is that.
Zack Snyder's our politics.
Yeah, better left unsaid.
We won't stop until we get our Snyder Cut review. Release the Snyder Cut review.
Yeah. Somebody else here release the Snyder Cut review because it won't be this guy. Goodness gracious. Anyway, Trayvon, Nerd with the Tech. I'm sure you have a couple of reviews up on your YouTube page.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of reactions, but I am actually going to be doing a Snyder Cut review on my own. So yes, I am going to be doing that tomorrow, actually. So
I may call you. Trayvon.
Okay.
You might set something up. Dom, you just had a complete a festival last weekend that you broke down. What are some of the reviews people can look forward to?
Well, so Dylan did most of his full-length reviews. I'm doing a compendium of a lot of the shorts and a couple of the series that are about to come out in the next couple of weeks. So that'll come out soon. And then I did a interview with Stefan Johnson, who's a voiceover actor who was in Cherry and Judas and the Black Messiah. And I have my podcast, Chopping Up the Homies, is about to come back, and I have a interview set up with a guy who's a veteran, and we're gonna be talking a little bit of the race things going on right now with like Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, and vendors getting attacked in California. So we had a little discourse on Instagram. I reached out and said, hey, you want to do a podcast so we can kind of talk about it? He was like, yeah, so that's gonna be coming soon. And that's gonna be very interesting because I haven't had a super deep conversation about that in a while. And I don't know the guy at all. We've talked a couple times on Instagram, and that's about it. So it should be an interesting one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing says bringing people together like talks about race. I am sure that will make for great conversation, Dom. So make sure you guys check out Chopping It with the Homies. Definitely got to get on one of those episodes. We got to talk music. We got to talk music on one of those episodes, Dom. Prime, again, I blame you for the Knicks not getting Lonzo or Andre Drummond. So aside from that, tell us what we can expect from the Sports Bar podcast.
Well, you really gonna be hurt now because while we were doing this here show, boy Mitchell Robinson just fractured his foot. So that just makes it even worse than not getting Andre Drummond. So that happened while we were doing this here show. But other than that, we right in the middle of the NCAA tournament, men and women. So we talking about that. NBA. We've got the 1994 college basketball film coming up in the talk of Blue Chips. Nick Nolte, Shaq, Penny Hardaway.
Oh God!
And then with baseball opening day next week, sometime in the next week or so, we will be reviewing one of my favorites, A League of Our Own. So
yes,
awesome,
classic.
So yeah, we got a lot going on right now.
Make sure you guys stay tuned with the Sports Bar podcast.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan. Gee, thanks.
Love it.
Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And Prime, I still think you're ducking. I haven't been invited to talk training day, so I assume you're ducking.
Oh, that's coming. It's coming really soon.
I can't wait to listen to that.
Oh, I can't wait. Woo. I've been practicing hate speech in the mirror, getting ready for that. I've been training like Rocky.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for the Snyder Cut when we eventually do our review.
That's right.
How can we mute here? Is there a button? Anyway, Dan, the main Damie, has you guys finally have done it. You've either achieved a movie I've not heard of before or a movie I am not a big fan of. I know you never thought you'd see the day, but I think it was the last one or the one before that I was just like, I don't know if I ever heard of that movie.
Cruel Jaws.
There you go.
That's
it. Yeah.
Well, if you like Jaws,
I did not.
Okay, then you're not gonna like this because it's a complete rip-off of Jaws. And it's made by an Italian filmmaker. It has the Star Wars theme song in it. It's very strange. I didn't like it either. I hated it. So that was our most recent episode. And then our next episode, we have a special guest, a comedian who's worked with several big names. Godfrey, Andrew Dice Clay is on. And we reviewed the Hayden Christensen classic, Jumper.
Hey, Dan,
love that movie.
What you will not do, if there is one human being on this earth that is very near and dear to my heart, it is Hayden Christensen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There better not be any slander on that man's name, okay? Jumper, Awake, what was the movie where he was with T.I. and Idris Elba and Paul
Star Wars.
What was it?
Star Wars.
Yes. Wait, say it again? No. I just heard what he said. Wait, what did you say, Prime?
No, man. Carry on.
I'm gonna have a lot to say listening to that episode, so make sure you send that to me directly.
Yeah, you might not like it then.
Oh,
this is Najuan's night.
Hayden Christensen is the most slept on actor in all of acting history. The man is a gym.
Ooh.
I'm
The
with
man
you, man.
is a gym. I love Hayden Christensen.
What happened in Star Wars?
You know,
George
he
Lucas
seems-
happened.
Well, yeah.
First of all, it's remarkable in Revenge of the Sith. That second one was a horrible movie altogether.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hayden Christensen has a lovely personality. Let's just say that.
goodness gracious.
That's how I would describe Hayden Christensen.
That's the line you use when someone's baby's really ugly and you're just like, look at the eyes, just so beautiful eyes. It's like nothing
Yeah.
else. Good on
I've heard that my whole life. It's been
you know who hasn't heard it, Dan? Hayden Christensen. But no, make sure you check out The Main Damie, and they call this a movie. As Dan tells us how great Hayden Christensen is.
Yeah.
Gotta see the baby.
I cannot believe I am not going to sleep tonight out of anger. Ryan, the Third Race Podcast. What do you guys got cooking up?
We dropped 2 episodes last week before I went back to the Midwest for my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Yeah, 33. Yeah.
God,
But you
you're
know,
so
I'm-
old.
He was old. He said that like he was going to say 63, guys.
Right.
No. What is
I
that?
didn't say old, but I kind of feel
You
anyways.
hinted towards it.
Yeah, but yeah, dropped 2 episodes last week for our 30 Minutes of Life show that we do, which is kind of broader topics. I would like to have Juwan on one of these days. Maybe we could talk about Jumper.
Let's do it.
I love that movie. But anyways, dropping new episodes tomorrow. Anyone who wants to join us, we're going to do a big discussion about the Snyder Cut. Myself, Jake and Tom Conquer the World, some buddies of ours. We've been talking about pretty much every DC movie up until this point. So we're doing a big blowout tomorrow. And we're welcoming anyone else who wants to talk all things Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I actually just did one. I just did one last Sunday.
Okay.
Tia, please join.
Probably the largest.
So, Ryan, do you need a guest to represent Geek Fives Nation?
No. You are representing Tia.
Looking for positives.
You are not representing this as a whole.
I'll say everything I need to say with a smile on my face.
Oh my God, Ryan, when you promote it as Tia. Don't promote it as G. Stand behind her views on that.
Okay.
But anyway, guys, as you can see, I'm gonna go call my therapist and count. This has been another episode of Marvel Cinematic Review. We will see you guys same time, same